saying, I am blessed to be an Indian. It is a day of pride, honor, and a day of remembrance for all those who fought and sacrificed to secure our freedom. Let us join in commemorating this historic occasion with gusto and patriotism. Independence Day is not just a date on the calendar. It symbolizes the birth of the nation, that triumph of unity and the unity of perseverance. It reminds us of the countless heroes who fought valiantly to see our motherland free from the clutches of British rule.
We extend a warm welcome to our Honorable Chief Guest, Sir Manoj Agarwal. I also feel privileged to welcome our benign management, the venerable members of the Sabha, the honorable principals, invited guests, teachers, and my dear friends. As we gather here today, let us reflect on the words of our founding fathers and the vision they had for free and prosperous India. At the stroke of midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom, said Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Let us carry forward the spirit of awakening as we march towards progress and development. It's time now to accord our Honorable Chief Guest, Sir Manoj Agarwal, who is acknowledged as an acclaimed business tycoon of the city, taking his ancestral sector Plastipac to a height where the success embraced it warmly. Sir completed his higher education from BITS Pilani before entering into the business world. Under his precious guidance, the firm became one of the topmost exporter, creating a loyal customer base globally. He has been the past chairman of Flex Council, Plastic Export Promotion Council. His philanthropic instinct inspired him to contribute towards institutions like Jyoti Bal Vikas Sansthan, which runs the school for the hearing handicapped. Not only that, he has been a trustee of a charitable trust, Ram Raghubir Gunvati Devi Jan Sevanyas. We are really blessed to have you, Mr. Thank you, sir. I would humbly request our principal ma'am to kindly present a bouquet to our chief guest, sir.
To mark the momentous day, we have prepared a delightful program filled with patriotic power, cultural program, and heartwarming speeches. Our aim is to pay homage to our brave heart freedom fighters who led us to liberation.
Now, I would humbly request our Honorable Principal Ma'am to take the floor and illuminate us with her words of wisdom.
Hearty greetings and wishes to everyone. Honorable Chief Guest, Shree Manoj Agarwal ji, the members of the Management Committee and the Sabha, Principal of Shree Sanatan Dharam Balika Vidyalaya, Ma'am Pooja Mishra, Headmistress of our Shree Sanatan Dharam Primary School, Madam Sonal Srivastav, Headmistress of Shree Sanatan Dharam Public School, Ma'am Namita Minocha, all the lovely teachers from all the institutions, students from all the institutions. I'm so glad that all of us have joined here on this auspicious occasion. I extend a very, very warm welcome to our Honorable Chief Guest, Sir, Shri Manoj Agarwal ji, for sparing his valuable time for us. We're very, very grateful to you, sir. I must say one thing, that very recently we had this inter-school fest in our school where 31 CBSE schools participated. It was a technical come literary fest, and we had a guest here from IIT Kanpur, Dr. Ankush Sharma ji. And in his address to the students, he advised that when you all grow up, the students, they have to come up with new ideas. They have to innovate. And very importantly, instead of seeking employment, jobs, they have to create jobs for the others. And that is exactly what our chief guest, sir, has done. A big round of applause for sir. I'm so glad that you have joined us on a day when all the 4 schools of the Sabha have come together. Sir has set up this huge empire, and I must say that it is a great service to our city. He is running a limited company, a listed company with more than 6,000 employees here in Kanpur and elsewhere also in the country. It's an export house. He has been exporting to the other countries. So you can imagine what kind of hard work, what kind of vision it must have taken for him to take his empire to such heights. We are so grateful for your presence today, and I'm sure that it's going to be very, very inspiring for our students, the future generation of our country. Thank you so much, and I hope that this is not the last time, it's the first time you have come here, and I hope that you will visit us again and again to inspire us all. Thank you, R.K. Agarwal ji, for making his presence possible and always availing such inspiring personalities for our students. Now, every time we celebrate our Independence Day, our minds go back to the time when we were reeling under the British rule, when the country was not free, when a few who were enlightened with the light of education thought about making the country free. They inspired and awakened the others who were still in the dark so that the country could breathe free and stand on her own feet. One can understand what kind of bravado and strength of character it must have taken to do that. The values which propelled them were complete dedication to their motherland.
Now, I would like to invite the little stars from SSD Public School to take the floor for a dance saluting glorious India. They are going to present a beautiful harmony of rhythm and move through their performance.
मेरा भारत अखंड अतुल्य 21वीं सदी का आत्मनिर्भर देश उत्कृष्ट वर्तमान और उज्जवल भविष्य की ओर सुदृढ़ कदम बढ़ाता अपनी जड़ों के साथ मजबूती से जुड़ा जगमगाता आर्यावर्त।
सुफलां मलयज शीतलां शस्य श्यामलां मातरं वन्दे मातरम्। झर झर नदियां सर सर चलती पवन शुभ तेरे मौसम वन्दे मातरम्। जंगल जंगल डाली डाली चांदनी बरसे सपनों वाली तेरे चरणों का चुंबन ले हम शीतल मुस्कान तेरा करम वन्दे करता तेरी आरती, ऐसी तेरी भक्ति हो। तेरे रूप साक्षात है, तेरे करोड़ों साथ है, तेरे करोड़ों हाथ है, जिनमें तेरी शक्ति है। सारे ही सागरों के तट पर है तेरी प्रशंसा, तेरा हर हर क्षेत्र है प्रशंसा। शीतलं सस्य श्यामलां मातरं वन्दे मातरम्। सुफलां मलयज शीतलां सस्य श्यामलां मातरं वन्दे मातरम्, वन्दे मातरम्। शीतलां शस्य श्यामलां मातरं वन्दे सुजलां सुफलां मलयज शीतलां शस्य श्यामलां मातरं वन्दे सुजलां सुफलां मलयज शीतलां शस्य श्यामलां मातरं वन्दे।
माई रे
कुसुमिता द्रमदल शोभिनी सुहासिनी सुमधुर भाषिनी।
It was a mesmerizing performance.
Respected members of the managing committee of Sanatan Education Center, my dear friends Rajiv, and I see Dhruv Bhai, RK. RK was responsible for bringing me here this morning. Principal Mr. Shobha Das, teachers of the school, and my young friends from all the 4 schools here. Greetings on India's 77th Independence Day. There's an error on your screen. It is the 77th Independence Day and the 76th anniversary. It's a momentous occasion. The performances are indeed enthralling, as you rightly said. It's been a long time since I had the privilege of being able to watch a school performance at either an annual day. I've been associated with a school for the hearing handicapped, which is a small school in Vittur, philanthropic institution, who hold their annual functions on the 14th of November every year. Well, that performance is done by children who can't hear and can't speak. And that has always been fascinating for me to attend as a member of the committee and as a participant of the school. This takes me back to the days when my own children were in school and I used to attend the annual performances. It brings back very fond memories of how great and how skillful and how all the children dedicate themselves to create these performances for us to appreciate. Thank you very much, my young friends. Brilliant performance. My apologies to some of you whom I won't be able to watch because I have another engagement soon after this. Thank you, ma'am, for being able to accommodate me and allowing me the privilege of speaking between the performances, something I don't normally like, but thank you very much nevertheless. बच्चे ज्ञान के सागर होते हैं, ऐसा मैं बराबर सोचता है। और जब मैं अपनी ग्रैंड डॉटर को देखता हूँ, कल वो वंदे मातरम का एलिक्यूशन अपने स्कूल में कर रही थी, 6 साल की भी नहीं है वो, और उसकी दादी उसको प्रैक्टिस करा रही थी वंदे मातरम के लिए। तो जब वंदे मातरम की परफॉर्मेंस यहाँ आई तो आई वाज रिकॉलिंग हाउ शी वाज परफॉर्मिंग एंड हाउ वी वर ट्राइंग टू ट्रेन हर. And it's so important for us to inculcate the bhavna of Bharat. Unfortunately, there are forces which want to look at Bharat in a different eye altogether. But the entire concept of Bharat and the entire concept of Bharatvash, I don't know, it's 5,000 years or 10,000 years. That's the it's probably it's still it's still to be understood. But each Independence Day, when we remember our heroes and remember the people who got us independence, I think it will be memories that all of you will go with for the rest of your lives. I asked the principal, what do you want me to speak on? And I was fascinated by her own speech on education. And that is something that I was talking about myself. I was trying to understand what is education and what is knowledge. I was browsing the net. I've forgotten the art of speaking. Actually, I've been off the mic for many years now. But I was trying to understand what is education and what is knowledge. And then it struck me that why are all the schools they come with the education center, so Padampat, Prudence, Vidyaniketan, your own school with an education center. And then I realized that the distinction between what is education and what is knowledge, and I'll come through that in a couple of minutes from now. So while browsing the net, and I admit I had to go through the net to understand, and while ma'am was very vehement about not looking at Google, but unfortunately, that is where we actually also learn and we enhance the power of our thinking. As long as you use Google to enhance what you learn and not substitute that, I think per se Google by itself is a great tool. I'm sorry, ma'am, and I know that school principals and school teachers dissuade children from spending so much time on the net. As long as you browse for knowledge and increasing your understanding of the subject matter, I think it's a great tool which the world has given us and which technology has provided us with. I myself a victim of that habit, only to learn and understand a subject matter better than what I can in the book. So I came across a nice paragraph and I quote verbatim. ज्ञान खुद में वर्तमान है, इंसान सिर्फ उसका आविष्कार करता है. I'm talking about आविष्कार, not आविष्कार. Avishkar is विचार। दुनिया में कुछ ऐसे भी होते हैं जो कि किसी भी विषय में थोड़ा सा ही ज्ञान प्राप्त होने पर यह समझने लगते हैं कि वे दुनिया के सबसे अधिक ज्ञानी व्यक्ति हैं और फिर अपने तुच्छ ज्ञान के बल पर सामने वाले को नीचा दिखाने की कोशिश करते हैं, जबकि वो यह नहीं जानते ज्ञानी व्यक्ति वो नहीं कहलाता जो कि काफ़ी बातें जानता है, बल्कि वास्तव में ज्ञानी उन्हें माना जाता है जो कि कम मगर काम की बातें जानता हो। वही ज्ञान पर इस तरह के सुविचारों को हमें अपने जीवन में उतारने की क्षमता रखनी चाहिए। Why I read this paragraph verbatim is that the thoughts behind this are so precise for our life today as to the distinction between what we learn in the classroom and what we consider as jnana. Takes me back to my own school days. I was privileged to be at a public school in Calcutta, the 60s. We were still, and Calcutta was the hallowed city of the colonial era. I was unfortunate to have gone through an education system even 20 years after independence. My history book was British Indian history. 20 years after independence, I still regret that I was being made to mug up the kings and queens of the royal family. I was being told what Clement Attlee did or did not do for us. Who was Lord Wavell? Who was Robert Clive? That was my history. My learnings about Indian history came from a Hindi teacher. I remember his name, S.K. Singh, a true nationalist. Chudidar pajama, khaddar ki sherwani and a Gandhi topi. In chaste Hindi, he would pick up episodes from the Hindi text and tell us about Indian history. My learnings about Shivaji, the exploits of Bhagat Singh, my learnings about Rana Pratap, unfortunately did not come from my history books. They came from the Hindi lessons that my teacher gave me. That is knowledge. That is where a distinction gets created between a textbook and the entire concept of what we call knowledge. We used to have small classes those days, 20, 22 students per class. It used to be 20. Till our batch there was pressure and the school decided to make it 25. But we were only 23 by the time we finished school. And the teacher knew the name, and all 3 years, 9, 10, 11, the teachers were same. We used to never change the teachers. It was class 11, not plus 2. Not only knew the names of the students, of course, but the family and the parents on a first name basis. Because the system allowed that to happen. Today, the pressure of the entire system is so intense that possibly these minor pleasures of life are getting diluted, but we need to live with that. A second teacher I recall, D.K. Raghunath from Pilani. He was the in charge of a course called Workshop Practice in Engineering. We do a course in Workshop Practice in Engineering Graphics. It's a first year course. This gentleman was from, I think, Heavy Engineering Corporation, Ranchi, that is where he used to work, and he decided to come into academics. Only a Bachelor of Engineering. He was not an MTech, not a PhD, not a scholar. The vibrancy and the passion with which he would teach a simple course like Workshop Practice meant that his classrooms, 100, 120, our classrooms in engineering colleges are big, even those days 50 years back, used to be absolutely chock-a-block. And while speaking in a classroom like this, he would be sweating by the time that 45-minute class would be over. He was so passionate about the subject that he would speak verbatim, no notes. You attend his class, you don't need to take notes. And imagine, I still remember that man 55 years after leaving college. I remember Mr. S.K. Singh 62 years, maybe 60 years after having studied from him. I remember his name, I remember his face. my young friends, all of you, when you go back in life, when you get to speak on a platform like this, please rever and recognize your teachers in exactly the same manner. It is the best lesson that you can carry back home in your life. It is the entire concept in our own Indian culture. We have this concept of a guru and a shishya culture, which these buildings are actually diluting. We can't help that because that is part of the whole system. But the culture still remains in our minds. And I can see that in the performances this morning, where it is the cultural ethos of the country which is being propagated by the institution that we all are fortunate enough to be studying in. I commend the school management for uplifting this entire institution in the way it has. Knowledge comes not only from what the teachers tell you, knowledge is also the experience that you gain from your own peer group, from your friends, how you interact with your classroom friends, from how do you behave with your juniors, how do you respect your seniors, even the canteen worker. That makes you a complete man or woman. That makes you the future icon of the country. And don't you ever forget this lesson, that what is the big difference between a good institution and average one. I never say there's a bad institution. No college is bad. There could be an average one, there could be a good one. The only difference is what you learn outside the classroom is a good institution. And that is the most important lesson that you carry home. And that is what will make you the person who will be a successful person 10 years or 15 years from now, depending on how old or you are. There's a simile which I picked up, and I'd like to mention that. The way to understand, maybe in your language, knowledge and education is computers. All of you know how to work on computers. And you do know how to use the applications that are on computers. So that is, of course, the education that you have, the knowledge that you have. The education of writing an operating system, of creating the hardware of the computer is not there with you. You don't have to be there. So if you can make that distinction between knowledge and education, with the simile that I'm presenting on computer, you can understand the difference on what you apply and what you learn. We try to bring in a small story from Gita, which all of us have read and all of us are taught about. सनातन धर्म हम लोगों को अपना कर्तव्य निभाने पर एवं अपने कर्म करने पर अनेक धर्मार्थों में उल्लेख करता है. कर्म और कर्तव्य, two pillars of our upbringing. और इसका सबसे बड़ा उदाहरण कुरुक्षेत्र के मैदान पे हम लोग को देखने को मिला, जब भगवान कृष्ण अर्जुन को अपने कर्म करने का पालन करते हैं, उनको उपदेश देते हैं. उस उपदेश को हम लोग सब पढ़ते हैं, सुनते हैं और अपने धर्म के की तरफ कर्तव्य का पालन करने का उल्लाना करते हैं. Here was Arjun standing on the chariot, wanting and getting dissuaded in his mind not to kill his brethren right across. उसको लड़ाई लड़ना बचपन से सीखा था उसने. He was a hero. He was a warrior. He had been trained to be a warrior. But when faced with his own brothers, he could not proceed till a guru came into the picture. At this place, हम लोग भगवान कृष्ण को की आराधना करते हैं. Lord Krishna became a guru and a teacher to show him the path and tell him the distinction between कर्म and कर्तव्य. और कर्तव्य का पालन करने के लिए कर्म तो पूरा करना ही पड़ेगा. That is the lesson that भगवान कृष्ण gave. जब भगवान कृष्ण अपने आप को एक गुरु के रूप में पृथ्वी पर उतर के हम लोगों को रास्ता दिखा सकते हैं, with all the stories that भगवान कृष्ण has, the essence of this entire episode, that small episode that we all know in different languages in different ways, is that दोनों ही pillars हमारे लिए ज़रूरी हैं. It is the distinction that the teacher or the guru will tell you, and the path the guru and the teacher will tell you to follow. Children, as you go along in life, 10 or 50 years from now, when you enter your jobs, your factories, your companies, your professions, you will be faced with this exactly same dilemma. A doctor will be faced on the operation theatre. A professional chartered accountant will be faced with this dilemma. You will be faced with the same dilemma when your parents are 80 years and you are 50 years and you're living in America, and your parents are in India, and then nobody to take care of them. It's a dilemma of karma and kartavya. Spend these 5 or 10 years in school to learn to face this challenge of life. That is the only education that will carry and help you through your life. Set your goals. This is one prime example. Arjun's goal was to win the war. That was very clear from the day Krishna got born. We know this. The day Krishna got born, it was known that a war will take place. And he had Arjun as the Pandavas as the path which will create that entire sequence of events which led to the war. So kids, set your goals always, whether in a classroom, whether in your life, and work towards that goal. You will get distractions on the way, so there will always be a tomorrow to do what you can do today. There will always be something that you would want to postpone. So yes, study hard. Without studying, you won't get through. That is what the system says. But nevertheless, there's a nephew of mine. He just got admission in PG in Masters Orthopedics. As a young kid in class 5-6, he was a student of JK, Sir Padampat. As a kid of class 5-6, he used to say, ताऊजी मेरे को तो डॉक्टर बनना है, न्यूरो सर्जन बनना है. 5-6 साल का, 5-6 क्लास में, 12-13 वर्ष का, 13-14 वर्ष का लड़का. He studied, he went for coaching, he got into MBBS, he got AFMC, top 5 colleges. He joined the army. And then he had a momentary thought, because in AFMC you need to sign a bond and to serve for the country. His first posting was Ladakh. And his parents were absolutely, my younger brother, cousin brother and his wife, and they said, Bhaiya kuch kariye, unse baat kariye. I sent him a message. That message also came from the DGOMS, who was at that time a friend of mine, a Lieutenant General. He sent a beautiful message. I said, look here, you're my young friend, you've got a chance to serve the country very few people have. You will forever on your life get the Ladakh colors. So people who get posted on the fronts, which are tough postings, like the Northeast once upon a time Ladakh, get special colors. Those colors you will always probably display. Those 2 years that you spent in Ladakh will make you a man forever. Nothing that you can ever do, nothing that you ever achieve in life can replace spending 2 years on a front posting near the China border in the state of Ladakh. When he came back, he got posted to Bareilly. He was here for a break. As Howard Ladaki said, it's the best lesson of my life. I'm so thankful to you that strings were not pulled to get me a cushion posting. Lead a tough life. And that's why I have an issue with air-conditioned classrooms. Sorry, Rajiv Bhai. Because, but that is what it is. I see this every other day, and when I first saw this in the Delhi schools some 20 years ago with my nephews, my sister's children, I was absolutely shocked. And that is when I used to travel in a train from Howrah to Pilani via Delhi, in an unreserved second-class compartment. I used to travel there, up and down. We didn't have ACs in those days anyway. There was one first AC which only the privileged used to travel in. That is what created the man I am today. I commend all of you, and God bless. My heartiest congratulations to the entire school and the school management and the team, especially Mr. Das, who's running a fantastic place, fantastic institution. Very impressed with the school building and the infrastructure which Rajiv Bhai showed me around. And I hope that all of you do well in your life. My blessings. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable erudition.
May I now humbly request our manager, Sir Soni, to extend a token of love to our chief guest, sir.
I really wish to thank sir for his erudition. Yesterday, when I was interacting with him, he actually told me that I don't do any public speaking nowadays, but it doesn't look the same. You had so many things to tell the students, and excellent advice and suggestion that you have given to them is really going to work wonders, because when we tell them the same thing, it doesn't sink very well. When it comes from successful people outside the system, definitely it has a different impact. Thank you so much, sir. A big hand for sir. We really look forward to your presence again. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Now, I would like to invite SST Public School to present their choir, SWARNIM BHARAT, to praise the golden land of India. melody was acknowledged. The performance indeed got us goosebumps. It was a real tribute to our brave hearts. Showing gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful things humans can do for each other. Respected chief guests, benign management, venerable members of the Sabha, the honorable principals, invited guests, teachers, and my dear friends. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks to this august gathering. Today, my words are not enough to express my gratitude. On behalf of my school, I would like to thank our chief guest, Sir Manoj Agrawal, who graced the occasion with his presence. I extend my gratitude to the management for the support in all our endeavors. Special thanks to the members of the Sabha for their invaluable encouragement shown to us. My sincere thanks to all our honorable principal ma'am, who have always shown the visionary, who has been always the visionary and mentor to us. I thank the teachers who have guided the students to perform and showcase their innate talent. I would also like to thank all the students for presenting a sense of discipline. Once again, I thank one and all for being a part of Independence Day celebration and for glorifying the day. I request everyone to participate in singing our national song, Vande Mataram.